let's move to the next topic, and the last topic. All right, it has to do with our American election. Something different from home, different from what is happening in Nigeria, but American politics have a lot of similarities with that of Nigeria. Honestly, especially in the past year. Let me use that word. Past year, the president of Nigeria has a lot of similarities with the president of the U.S. And the political atmosphere in Nigeria is similar to the political atmosphere in the U.S. right now. U.S. political atmosphere seems to be even, I think at this juncture, I think I'll consider it to be worse than what we are experiencing in Nigeria, because the American polity right now, the atmosphere right now in the U.S. is just an atmosphere full of uncertainty. Unlike in the past, where one will be able to guess this is the direction this thing is going. But this one now, it's full of uncertainty. Barrister, what's your thought on the current political event in the U.S.? Joe Biden has pulled out of the race and given Kamala Harris the tickets. Technically, it's not done formally, but technically giving Kamala Harris the ticket to vie for the presidency. We all know that the powers that be in the Democrat Party has already coronated Kamala Harris. So there basically will be no opposition during the convention that is coming up next week. So what is your thought on the dynamics, the political dynamics in the US right now, Barrister Samantha?
Well, the coronation, so to speak, of Kamala Harris is an act of desperation. Because if you look back during the primaries in the Democratic Party, Kamala Harris was the first candidate to drop out. She was polling in single digits, 5%, 2%. She had to drop out. She was deeply unpopular and had been up to this year. But you look at the situation. I read an article last year. I tried to save it, but the font was not possible. I think sometimes in November last year. It was written by an American journalist. And he said that Joe Biden would not be the candidate of the party. The only difference in what he said was, one, the time, because he predicted that it will be between August and September. And the second was that it was going to be Michelle Obama that will be brought into the race. So these are the only two differences. So they realized, you and me know, that Joe Biden was going down, and if he remained on the ticket, it was going to be a slam dunk for Trump. They had to take desperate measures. If they override Kamala Harris, they were going to go into serious problem. There will be division in the party. She identifies herself with the Black Americans. There will be a disconnect with the Black American votes. There will be division in the party generally, because she was the vice president. She was expected to. Now, if they brought somebody in at this late hour, they reckon the chances to be bad. And the whole issue, the hatred on Donald Trump, is what has galvanized them to rally around Kamala Harris so that she will be presented as a united candidate front by the whole Democratic Party. To an extent, they have succeeded, because there's presently excitement among Democratic voters and others as well. The polls are showing that she's catching up in some of the battleground states. But personally, I do not believe that she will beat Trump in the election. I think the excitement of coming to the top of the ticket is going to wane at a point before the election is going to die down. presently they are jubilating. The party has presented a united front. There's no challenge. You will now find the big shots of the party coming up, speaking against her. So you see that reflected in the polls. But as we still have a couple of months before the November 4th election, as we go towards the election, I think some of her bad issues will come back, the reality will set in, and she will begin to drop down in the polls again. So I have confidence that with the setup going now, I have confidence that Donald Trump will be reelected the 47th president of the United States.
All right, Shegun, let's come to you. I don't know if you have that much interest on I don't know if you know much or have interest in American politics. However, because I don't know, have we discussed American politics with you before? I'm not sure, can't remember. Yeah, please, can you say something about what's your opinion on what's happening in the US right now?
Well, it is exciting and it's an interesting time right now for the American people and American politics. The man that they so much shown disdain for, as it were, that was removed from office and replaced with Biden, unfortunately, is coming back to lead America, either they like it or not. Because the indications, from all indications, they are friends, especially in the media, with their analysis and everything. I had a couple of guys who are friends in the media who work with Fox News, who work with CNN. They were the first set of people who said the idea that there's every possibility that they're going to have a Trump presidency towards the end of the year. And we were even jokingly saying to Rufai on the group that he should not go near America once Trump becomes president, because he's somebody who does not even like seeing Trump at all. Talking about Trump lying and all that. Who doesn't lie amongst all these leaders? You know, it's just that, like they would say, local palace. Now somebody lie and cheat past the other one. It's an exciting time for Americans and America as it were. And for some of us, we would want to look at it as a win-win for us, because a lot of us believe, I'm not too sure, I can't authoritatively tell you that I have any facts on that the Biden government seemed to be supporting the Tinubu government, covering up, especially since the Chicago fires and everything, that I think there was a deal. The conclusion of the whole matter was that there is a deal struck between the Biden government and Tinubu to keep him safe, as long as it does what the American government wants. Take, for instance, the LGBTQ thing that we were discussing. You remember on the program here, we highlighted some of these issues on the was it the Samoan papers that were signed, the agreement that was signed some few months ago, where the government had to come to deny that it didn't sign any document until the document filtered into the press and it was exposed. So for some of us, we believe that the Trump government is not the kind of government who would support whatever it is that the Biden government supported, that has brought us into this mess that we are in. Me, for one, would believe that because of what I've seen, and I know of the person of Donald Trump, he would have blown whatever it is that Tinubu was trying to do to keep safe his plan. Yeah. Even if it's in the interest of America, he would have blown it off. He will be the very first person to talk about it and say, look, this is not what it is. And the demand should be exposed for what it is if they are standing as America and as a country that represents integrity and straightforwardness, that this should not be happening. So for me, for instance, I would welcome a Trump government as long as it is going to be in favor in foreign policy for the country Nigeria, and of course to get rid of this mess that we have that we call leadership. It will be a very good one. At some point, people were saying that Michelle Obama would be put forward. It was also argued that she may not make it. Somebody actually mentioned Kamala Harris. And he said, well, it's a done deal for Trump if Kamala Harris, like he said, technically she has been put forward now, then hopefully, probably towards the polls. Except it might happen, then will Trump not become the president. So Whichever way it is, we hope that America remains one at the end of the whole, at the end of the day. And of course, we all know that whichever way we are going to look at it, everybody will still want to work together for a great and one America.
Well, thank you so much. I think I see that three of us, I think, agree on this. We are on the same page on this. A sort of that is it. Now you mentioned Rufai with Arise TV and Ruben, not just Rufai. Ruben, they hate Donald Trump. But because of this issue of bias, and that's why they keep, because they hate Donald Trump, they keep featuring this crazy, this useless. I call him useless because as a professor, he ought to know more. They bring in this professor who was one time Nigeria's foreign minister. I think Bolaji something or whatever. I forgot it. That's why they keep bringing him when it comes to the U.S. politics and anything that has to do with Donald Trump. They bring him on board to actually bash Donald Trump, sort of. So that's what actually made me stop watching that Arise TV. Sort of. Initially, they used to be my point of contact for news to actually know what is going on. But I thought, but because of their bias when it comes to the reality, and I don't know. I wouldn't say I don't know. I think I know reason. Okay, I don't know. There are some people I don't even know why they hate Trump. But most people I know why, especially Nigerians who are immigrants or whatever, because probably they just feel Donald Trump is against immigrants. But that is not the reality. That is not, because I keep telling people something. I said, human beings naturally, they just love people doing the wrong thing. As long as it favors them, it's in their own interest. I always use this as an analogy, as family as an analogy. You are a husband, you have a wife, you have children, and you always want to protect your family. As a man of the house, your basic responsibility as a husband is security. As a husband in every home, your basic excuse me, your basic responsibility, number one responsibility, is to make sure your family is safe, secure. That is one. Security is important. The moment the security of your family, when we talk of security can span to different angles. It can span to finances, can span to it can be extended into finances, into welfare, into health, into several issues. So whatever it is that comes in that will be coming into your family, that will impede or that will hamper or that will affect negatively the security of your family, obviously you want to protect it, and even if you are going to adopt children, even if you are going to bring in strangers, accommodate total strangers or whatever, you expect the strangers to adhere to the principles of your home, of your family, to the laid down principles, the rules and whatever. So if you are not doing that, obviously you want to restrict yourself or limit yourself to what you already have and shut out any other person because you need to protect what, immigration is the hub of the US. There's no doubt about it. But what Trump is talking about is doing it legally, not just coming through the borders. Doing it legally. Come through the normal channel. Apply for visa. Apply for there are so many visas, H1B, B1, B2, different visas or whatever. There are visas that spans across all sphere that you can apply for or whatever. So whatever you are coming to the US to do, you have visa for it. Go through the legal channel. What Trump is against is people coming through the borders, because people coming through the borders, they are not well vetted. They come through the borders. There's no credible way to verify, to authenticate these people, to know who these people are. They are not well vetted. They don't pass through the normal channel. They don't have their names on record. They don't have their data on record. There's nothing to follow through with on them. And as such, we have more criminals. We have criminals, drug barons and drug pushers, drug addicts, rapists passing through the borders into the US. And recently, for the past about 4 or 5 years now, consistently, they've been committing these immigrants, these undocumented people who do not have their record, their names on record, who who passed actually through, who crossed through illegal means, who crossed into the country through illegal means, through the borders or whatever. They commit. These people are not the not overwhelming majority of them though, but at least substantial amount of them, number of them. They go on raping women. They go on killing. There are some people. There are some of them. They after raping, they just kill their victim. So many crimes are being perpetrated, including gang crimes, a sort of gangster crimes, are being perpetrated in the country by immigrants, illegal immigrants, not the real legal, not the decent one, the responsible one. So these are things that people don't. People rather focus on their selfish interests instead of on the generality of some of these policies are even against immigrants like us, the Donald Trump policies. But who cares? I always tell people sometimes, I say, look, the way I live my life is, I rather do things the right way, even if it is detrimental to me. For people who know me, that's the way I live my life. I don't care even if it is detrimental to me. I always want things done the right way, a sort of. So, and that is just the way I believe. That's my philosophy about life, a sort of. So I don't know why people are so selfish about it, but sometimes there are some Nigerians I hear when they criticize Donald Trump. It doesn't make, just like Rufai. These are learned Nigerians, capable Nigerians that are well-to-do, that are comfortable and well-schooled. You ask yourself, what the hell is this person talking about? When they criticize, just like you talked about Rufai criticizing Donald Trump, says they're calling him a liar. And I ask myself, now, so for people who don't understand Trump, Trump is an impulsive person. Unfortunately, he's impulsive in response. Sometimes you ask him, and because he's that kind of a person, he's a media person, he grants, no politician or no president, no United States president has been as transparent as Donald Trump, has been with the media as Donald Trump. None. That even the media that are enemies to him, that are inimical to him, to his interests, that criticize him, that pulls him down all the time, he gives them audience. They interview him or whatever. He grants them interviews. And so such person, being an impulsive man, you ask him questions, he is that kind of person who sometimes I think he just feels obligated to answer questions. So instead of saying, just shying away from the answer, from the question, he rather answers it and answers it impulsively. And when he does that impulsively, because sometimes he doesn't have the record in his head, he doesn't have data in his head, or he just says things the way, whatever comes to his head, he just says it the way it comes to it. Yes, I know sometimes it is not good as a leader, but people take him literally for that. So they consider him as a liar. But his intention behind that is not to lie. His intention behind the response, even though it may be a false answer, but his intention behind it is not to lie. The intention is he had sincere intention. However, just because he did not have the right data in mind, he probably said the wrong thing. And that is one. And secondly, let's even assume he's a liar. Why don't you take 4 years of his policies, of his government, 4 years of the government, what he has achieved? I consider Donald Trump the best president US has ever had. I'm telling you, because I've read through so many things that other presidents did. Look, I followed Donald Trump. I remember when in fact, I think I told, I said it earlier on this show. I was one of the first people who, even when Trump first came out with that crazy declaration, when he declared his intention to vie in 2015, when he declared his intention to contest for the presidency, came with this issue of calling names here and there, whatever. Immediately I watched that declaration, I endorsed him. Why? Because This is not what politicians are known to be. The politicians are not known to be they are known to be politically correct. Trump is not that kind of person. He's a very spontaneous person, someone who speaks to the reality. And besides, this is something he has been consistent. There is no politician that has been as consistent, that is as consistent as Donald Trump. And I have proof. The proof is in the public. What Donald Trump has been saying started from 30-something years ago. What the interview he granted, I think in the early 80s, where he granted some interviews that had to do with American politics. So he's been saying what he's doing right now. He's been saying, talking about it, all his criticisms, all his support and everything. He has been very, very consistent, has been going on right from the beginning. So he is he is consistent as consistency can be. So this is the kind of politicians, this is the kind of person I admire, someone who is consistent, not someone who changes over time. You change just like and Donald Trump is the epitome of the real politician we are talking about, who have been 50 years. I see Joe Biden, not Donald Trump, I beg your pardon. Joe Biden is the epitome of the real politicians we are talking about this day. Everything about Joe Biden, I don't know, for people who say that Trump is a liar, they don't like it because he's a liar. I don't know what, and they don't like, if you don't like Trump because he's a liar, I wonder why, if you prefer Joe Biden against Donald Trump because he's a liar, it means that you are a hypocrite. You've not really mentioned the reason why you don't like Donald Trump. Because Joe Biden, everybody has a record, he's on record from over so many years ago, even from when he was contesting as a senator. So many decades. There are records of Joe Biden lying, literally lying. He lied about his education, lied about everything. Joe Biden has lied about everything about his life, about his status, everything about him, including as a president. All he does is lie, including the last speech he gave. The record he was talking about, all he praised himself, all of them were all lies. All lies. Yet people will say, I hate Trump because he's a liar. But they love Joe Biden. It doesn't make sense, because Joe Biden is 10 times. Let's even agree that Trump is a liar. Joe Biden is 10 times a liar than Trump. Yet people use that as an excuse. That's crazy. Honestly, I don't understand why learned Nigerians, exposed Nigerians will hate someone like Donald Trump. Donald Trump has a good record. Look, if you don't like his personality, that's a different ball game. But looking at the messenger, why don't you look at the message? Take a look at the message. Take a look at the 4 years of Trump. 4 years of Trump, no wars, no international wars. No wars. Anywhere there was absolute silence globally. He made peace between an unprecedented pact of peace between Israel and other media, Bahrain and Jordan. The other media called the Abraham Accord. This is something nobody ever dreamt of achieving. Apart from that, look at the U.S. economy. The whole demographic, everything was so. He was breaking records, making history on every demography. In his government, he had the highest number, the lowest rate of black unemployment, highest rate of black home ownership. He has the lowest rate of women unemployment, lowest rate of youth unemployment. Look, he was hitting the record, making records on all demographic postulations, all demographic projections. Yet people say, I hate this man. What is the problem? Why don't you this is what I don't do. I view things objectively. I read people objectively. regardless of whether it is in my own interest or not. Like I said, I have supported people, I have supported things, even apart from politics. I've done things. I've been on the side of situations, things that does not benefit me. They are detrimental to me. Yet I decided to go because I don't believe it is the right thing as long as it's going to affect people positively, even if I'm not involved in the positivity. So that is just it. So all these journalists, especially, of course, what do you expect? Media journal, Rufai of a person. Now, on Rufai, I honestly, let me use this medium to, it's not my intention to use to do it now. It's just spontaneous. Let me use this medium to attack that Rufai and Agbati, Ruben Agbati. Rufai, look, people just view Rufai as one hero or whatever. They criticize the government or whatever. Let's be frank with you. Rufai is doing what he's doing because I just feel he's just expecting something. The moment you approach Rufai, people like Rufai, so I consider them as hypocrites. I've never viewed Rufai as someone who is genuinely and sincerely critical of bad governance. Honestly, I just view him as someone who is, view him as a hypocrite, and I view him as someone who is just waiting for the time. The moment you approach, the government approaches him for one thing or the other or whatever, with one thing or the other, he will cave. Ruben Agbati, I've never liked, even from the time he was with Guardian newspaper or whatever, when he was doing this show with, even when he was doing this show with this Patitos gang. I don't know if any of you remember this show, Patitos gang, that Patu Tommy then. They were doing, it was a late night show. Then I was watching that late night show, whatever. I've never liked his opinions or whatever. So I've followed Ruben for a very, very long time, Ruben Agbati. So he is a liberal person by nature, and me, generally, anyone that has liberal mindset, who has liberal policies, who supports liberal policies or whatever, such journalists or such person definitely will not gel well with me. So, and that is it. And back to the topic, Kamala. Now, Barrister said it well. In fact, the barrister spoke my mind on that. That what is happening, the bump that came as a result of Kamala's coronation, this is the honeymoon. You know, that's what I can consider I can call honeymoon period. Just like Barrister said it. In fact, Barrister, like I said, you really, really spoke my mind on that. You just took the words from my mouth. This is a honeymoon period. We all know Kamala Harris antecedents, political antecedents. He has very, very abysmal record, very bad record, extremely bad record. Bad record that he doesn't have. Kamala does not have anything to run on. As a senator, he never ever, there is nothing to her name. No bill, nothing to her name. Everything is nothing. She didn't sponsor anything. So she had bad record as a prosecutor when she was a prosecutor at California, state of California, in her district. We all know what happened. She incarcerated the so-called black. Besides, people should understand that Kamala Harris is not a black. She's more of a Jamaican than she's not a black. She's not a black woman. She's more of an Indian because she was brought up by her mom, who is an Indian, and a single parent who's an Indian. She's not even in good time with her father. Her father is a Jamaican or whatever. So she's not. In reality, she's not a black man, and that is why she didn't care about the blacks when she was a prosecutor. She jailed so many black people for minor crimes. Jailed so many blacks for minor crimes. So she doesn't have record. So what is happening with her campaign right now is just that bomb, that usual bomb of a sign of people. When Joe Biden dropped out of the race, people became excited that this man finally. So whoever comes up then will just get the support of the public. And so that's the Democrat public. That's exactly what has happened. That's what is happening with Kamala. That honeymoon will be over, just like every other honeymoon comes to an end, that of Kamala Harris will be over. The honeymoon will be over, and just like Barrister and other people and Shegun noted, Donald Trump will coast to victory. There's no doubt about it. Americans, their eyes have opened, even though with all the lies of the media, the mainstream media, who are overwhelmingly over 90% on the side of against the people, on the side of the corrupt government. And so even with that, Donald Trump will coast to victory. That is just it. What they are facing now, what we are facing with Harris right now is just a temporary stuff. Donald Trump will, there's no doubt about that. He's going to coast to victory, because at this juncture, US, if the Democrat wins election to rule for another 4 years, US is gone. Will become irredeemably gone, down the drain. They will lose all their power, both globally and locally. I'm telling you, so many things will go south. Everything. China will be eventually, because even at this juncture, after 3.5 years of Joe Biden, China is already, you can imagine, how could this have happened under Donald Trump? People should ask themselves this question, where you see China having to have alliance with Russia and Iran. These three global enemies have become friends, uniting against the West. This as a result of the weakness of the Democrat Party, the weakness of the Democrat government of Joe Biden. You can imagine what the kind of danger, if US allow the Democrats to continue in power in the next at least 4 years, US is doomed. They are doomed economically and doomed globally. That is just the reality on ground. And I think that is what brings us to the end of this show. I don't know if Shegun, if you have any other thoughts in mind on any of the topics we have dealt with entirely. Okay, there's none. Okay, our viewers, thank you so much. If you are here, we're still here with us. Thank you for being with us up to this time up to this moment of the show. Once again, this is JIBRIN Angle, and coming to you on Oweleke TV. My name is JIBRIN.